Hey diggers, here's a fun little thing. When I got back from my last race, just checking everything inside the trailer, what do I find? This guy laying on the floor. This guy is that header bolt. Never had one just fall out before on the ride home, but thanks to the Midwest digger, he sent me some header studs. So we're gonna get those studs in, place the bolts with studs, and it will be better. So big thanks to the Midwest digger for shooting those over to me. Quick thing I want to show you about I'm installing these header studs that Midwest digger sent me. Again, big thanks to him for that. Little tip when you put these in. You want to put a little anti-seize on these before you thread them in, and I'll show you this silver pasty stuff. It gets on everything. Try to do this one-handed, but you want to get just a little bit of that on the threads. Doesn't have to be a lot, but you want to make sure you do that, okay, first. And then when you put these in, also kind of make sure you got a really easy, good seated thread. You don't want to get these cross-threaded. And these are aluminum heads, so you don't want to over torque them either. I'm just using a T-handle Allen wrench to thread these in. They go in real easy, and just kind of doing them hand tight. Don't have to put a lot of muscle, but a good snug hand tight's all you need, because again, aluminum heads, easy to strip those threads, and we do not want to do that. All right, something else to be aware of as you put these in, you can back these studs out a bit because you need to take into account your hardware and having enough of the stud for the nut to grab onto. So if you find that once you put your washers, or in this case this is holding the engine diaper onto the front here, you need to take into account how far out this stud needs to be. So if you do need to back them out a little bit, you can. They don't have to be bottomed out into the head by any means. You can back them out a bit to make sure you got enough meat, a couple threads here kind of exposed on the top for your nut to bite onto. So keep that in mind as well if you're installing header studs. All right, there you have it. Header studs are installed on both sides. Headers are back on. The only spot where I couldn't use one stud was that guy. And that's because whoever previously had put some header bolts in here stripped that one out, because that is slightly different size. It's a slightly different size bolt. So my guess is they stripped that one and had to rethread it, put a slightly bigger bolt in. So I had to reuse that one because the stud wanted to kind of pull out. It wasn't holding very tight there. So again, as I said just a moment ago in the video, you got to be careful of you can over tighten any bolt really going into an aluminum head. So be very careful of over tightening bolts when you're dealing with aluminum heads. There you go, header bolts, good to go.